Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing my March 2025 budget. So we'll be going over exactly how much I made and spent in the month of March. I did already post my March budget with me, so let's go ahead and see how that compared. So I'll be toggling between the planned category and the spent category, and the app that I'm using for my budgeting is the EveryDollar app. So first off, starting with my income, I have my 2 paychecks from my full-time job, and I always budget based on the lowest amount of hours worked, which is $17.64 for both. And then for my per diem paycheck, I always budget around $200, and that's about 1 shift every month. For cash back, I was expecting to redeem $10, and I was expecting to pull from my sinking funds about $450, and that was an estimation of how much my car repairs would be. My first 2 paychecks were right on the money at $17.64.49 and $17.64.48. My per diem paycheck was a little bit higher at $230.35. For cash back, I ended up redeeming more than $10 at $22.84, and I did not pull from my sinking funds. Next, if we go back to planned, you can see that I had budgeted to put $100 towards my high yield savings account, and I actually ended up putting nothing into my high yield savings account this month. Part of that, of course, was due to not pulling for my sinking funds and just cash flowing, but I felt comfortable with the buffer that I had in my checking account that I would have more than enough to be able to do so. Next, we'll take a look at all of my planned bills. You can see some in the red towards the bottom there, which we will get to. But in terms of the bills that are fixed expenses, that is my mortgage, HOA fee, property tax. I do make an additional principal payment to my mortgage. My internet bill is also a fixed expense. Now, the bottom 3 are a little bit more variable. So my electricity bill I get every month, and I had budgeted about $100. For my water bill, every 6 months we get a flat rate of $108.25, but starting this year they increased it a little bit, which is why it's in the red. And then for my gas bill to heat the home, that I budgeted $359.26. And this was due to me receiving a bill at the end of February for this amount, so I knew I would be paying this amount in the beginning of March. But then 2 weeks later, they also sent me another bill because they came and read the meter again. So I did have to pay an additional amount. So now if we go over to the spent, all of my fixed expenses came out as planned, and my electricity was thankfully a little bit lower at $92.02. It has been quite a cold month and past few months actually here in New England, and thankfully now it's starting to warm up just a little bit that the electricity isn't over $100 every single month. And again, with my water bill, it did go up. I think it was 3%. So now it is sitting at $111.50, and that will be the new amount that they will charge every 6 months. And with the additional bill that I got for my gas, I believe it was around $86, that totaled to $445.17 that I paid in the month of March. I do have a sinking fund for my gas bill as well, but I wanted to see exactly how much I'm able to cash flow without pulling from those. If I see that I'm truly not able to cash flow for any of my expenses, then I would pull from my sinking funds. But that's just to give me peace of mind, those sinking funds. If I'm able to cash flow, I will try to cash flow. Going back over to planned, we have all of my car type of expenses. So first we have gas, where I budgeted $110. Then we had the motor vehicle excise tax. This is what I get annually, and I budgeted about $70. And then for car service, I had budgeted about $400. And now in terms of what I spent, thankfully I spent less on gas. I only needed 2 fill-ups this month, and that totaled $54.11. My motor vehicle excise tax was $64.13. And my car service was actually a little bit lower at $394.32. And again, I was able to cash flow this amount without pulling from my car fund. And then last but certainly not least is my personal spend category. And here I try to keep it under $150 every month. And we were successful with that. And I spent a total of $107.03. And if you know from my previous budgeting videos, this section has always been a trouble for me, but this month we were able to do so. So I'm very happy about that. With expenses being so high, of course, I'm kind of sad that I wasn't able to save really anything at all this month, but I was able to cash flow some huge amounts, which does give me some peace of mind in that sense, and I was able to not touch my savings. So that pretty much concludes my March 2025 budget review. If you have any comments or questions, be sure to leave those down below. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!